want to commend the majority for having brought us a government witness and also for focusing on how the State Department is run, not just regional, but also the functional side of our subcommittee's work. But I do want to point out that we have not had a government witness to talk to us about Iran. And with all due respect to Ms. McKimmey and the functioning, I think Iran is what's on people's minds now. I would hope that we would have a government witness to talk to us about the bombing of Iran when Congress reconvenes in about 10 days. And I would urge that upon the leadership of the committee. For a long time, the full committee had recently a full committee hearing on the need to promote our economic positions, and yet the State Department tends to recruit at diplomacy schools and rarely recruits MBAs. The State Department from the 1940s to the 1970s had a series of commissions and panels saying that this apartheid divide that the State Department has between the privileged Foreign Service and those who are civil service has not been explored, and the difference in benefits and promotions and protections are very different, and they shouldn't be. We are told that the State Department believes in merit base, and yet first you start with a fork on the road, which basically invited those of your employees with the best prospects to make money in the private sector to leave. So you lose the best people, at least in the view of the private sector. Then you go to RIFs, reductions in force, and you fire people based on what job they happen to have at the time rather than their capacity. And since in the State Department it's pretty much a lot of musical chairs, you may have somebody who was doing a great job at job A that you thought was a very important job, but this particular month they're doing job B. Instead of retaining that person, you fired them, and whoever was doing that job A could have a terrible performance report, but they happened to be sitting in the chair that you liked at the time the music stopped. Republicans quite rightly say that we should run the government more like a business. A business recognizes that its employees are its most valuable assets, and we have decimated that valuable asset. One example is how the DOJ personnel cuts hit cybersecurity, and now they're working in Iran to see how they can attack America through cyber attacks. We are well defended by our military. We are not as well defended as we should be from cyber attacks. Certainly you try to maintain the morale of your workforce when you have your president saying that they are crooked people, they are dishonest people. You do not enhance morale. That's why a recent American Foreign Service Association report said 98% of the Foreign Service has had morale. We need to recruit the people who understand not just the language, but the culture of the countries we work in. And the greatest advantage America has is that we are a combination of literally hundreds of different ethnicities and nationalities. And so we have lots of people who are native speakers and who understand the culture. And then we have a rule at the State Department that says, oh, if you're familiar with that country, you're not allowed to work in that country. To say that American citizens of this or that heritage might be loyal to the homeland of their grandparents is absurd. It is wrong, it is discriminatory, and it costs us because we have people who understand culture and language, and instead we put somebody there who tried to learn the language at some school. Finally, I'll point out that only for a temporary time am I assigned to be the ranking member of two different subcommittees, this one and one over in financial services. And that is why I'm pleased that the The gentleman from New York will be sitting in as temporary ranking member for much of this hearing. It's a very important hearing, and I will be back, and I yield back.